First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Good evening and welcome to WUFT News' First at 5. I'm Fareeha Abrar.
And I'm Serra. Sowers. Thank you for joining us.
2 more tragic accidents in Alachua County, each claiming the life of someone walking.
A woman walking her dog last night in Gainesville, a child crossing to a playground this morning in Alachua. The cases add to a string of pedestrian deaths that have become a major focus. Some deaths have been hit and runs, including one last weekend, but not in these cases. In the city of Alachua, a pickup hit a 5-year-old boy just after 7 this morning. It happened at a crosswalk on Hip Way that links a neighborhood to a park. There's a light-up crosswalk sign, but the lights were not working today, and bystanders tell us it was foggy. The Highway Patrol says everyone needs to stay aware. There could be all kinds of traffic around, people on foot, on bikes or scooters, or in large vehicles.
That's the reason it's important for motorists and all users of the road to recognize what their duties and responsibilities are and what their role is and how they can help to traverse the road in the safest manner possible.
In another pedestrian, a van hit a woman walking her dog last night along Northwest 53rd Avenue in Gainesville. FHP says in both of these cases, the drivers were stopped and waited for law enforcement.
A North Central Florida man is now behind bars following a murder investigation that began last month. This case began on December 7th when 37-year-old Corey Grimmage was found dead in Micanopy. Grimmage had been shot and left at the end of Northeast 6th Avenue. Alachua County Sheriff's deputies arrested 36-year-old Joshua Hall yesterday morning and charged him with murder. Investigators used fingerprinting and cell phone tracking to identify and find Hall. Hall is also facing charges of drug and weapon possession. Grocery shopping has become much more stressful for some more than others during this period of inflation. And as food prices soar, a Florida nonprofit organization continues to work with students to alleviate those stresses for families.
WUFT's Camila Periera shows us how this partnership helps feed Gainesville families in need.
I'm here at Project Youth Build, where students are distributing food out to give back to their communities and help fight food insecurity. Farm Share and Project Youth Build joined together to give free food to local families in need. The drive was scheduled to start at 9 a.m., but drivers got up bright and early, eager to get food.
We see quite a lot of people. It goes for about 2 hours typically, and cars line up before we even begin to distribute. When I arrived this morning at around 7 a.m., there was already a line of cars.
Youth Build community engagement coach Meg Boyer-Mayer says the students are at the center of the event, allowing them to give back to the community they serve. The leadership program is meant to provide an opportunity to break barriers for people ages 16 to 24. Project Youth Build student Denaya Garrison has distributed food since September.
Because they come nonstop, so it tells me a lot that a lot of people don't have access to food. So it's just helpful to help them.
From milk to chicken, each driver that comes by is going home with food to fuel their pantries.
I think it's a good thing. These times when everything is so expensive and a lot of people are out of work.
Events like these are held once a month here at Project Youth Build. For more information on upcoming food distributions, visit www.farmshare.org. In Gainesville, Camila Periera, WUFT News.
A new grant is giving the University of Florida's College of Veterinary Medicine something to wag its tail about. The College of Veterinary Medicine is receiving a $510,000 grant from the national nonprofit Petco Love. It's coming at a vital time for animal shelters amid a national shortage of shelter veterinarians. More animals are put down as a result of these vacancies. The grant will support an internship program training animal vets in shelter medicine skills, including surgery and disaster response.
People underestimate probably the impact that shelter veterinarians have on saving pets throughout the country. A great shelter veterinarian in any organization really just drives life savings.
Kogel says the program will empower veterinarians and train them to provide shelter pets with the care that they deserve. You know, and I'm glad that temperatures have warmed up from the beginning of this week. I was about to start searching for some snowman blueprints.
Me too, Fareeha. But I heard it might rain this weekend. WUFT's Shawn Humphrey joins us now with the weather forecast.
Well, right now, I almost wish I was outside. 70 degrees, nice and comfortable. The clouds are starting to roll in. There's a nice chance of rain tomorrow and a chance for severe weather on Sunday. But as of right now, it's still dry outside. And as we look at the evening schedule, it's going to be cooling down heading into 1 a.m., approaching overnight lows. No rain expected until midway through tomorrow morning. But the overnight lows in Alachua County pretty constant. In the mid to high 40s, 48 degrees in Micanopy, and those temperatures starting to get a little bit higher as we head south down the bend, down I-75. And in the villages in Altoona, we see the highest temperatures for the area, 52 and 51 degrees. Not much change over there, but back to the desk.
Pack your water and bug spray. The Alachua County Land Conservation Program is inviting the public to a special hike at one of its most visited parks. The guided nature hike will wind through Turkey Creek Preserve this Saturday. It will include opportunities to learn about plants and wildlife, and it will feature a special guest, former Alachua County Environmental Protection Department employee Michael Drummond. The goal of the hike is to introduce guests to the park's expansive biodiversity and 9 natural communities. Alachua County Land Conservation Representative Ryan Kennelly tells us what the park has in store for visitors.
Animals that are common here, tons of birding opportunities. Birds really like those diversity and habitats, working those edges. We have deer and coyote, bobcats, gopher tortoises, which are state threatened, so tons of wildlife out here.
Kennelly says hikers should meet at the Turkey Creek parking lot on 93rd Avenue at 8 a.m. and can expect to walk 2 to 3 hours.
The battle over a proposed phosphate mine in Bradford County has finally settled. At today's Bradford County Commission meeting, the county manager announced that the phosphate mining company HPS2 will be withdrawing from its application. Originally, the plan was to mine about 10,000 acres straddling the New River, which runs in the Santa Fe River. The plan was to use a new homemade method of mining. However, since 2016, local environmental groups and residents have worked to block the proposed phosphate mining in Bradford and Union counties.
An energy company's program brings economic development to 4 Florida communities. Duke Energy Florida selected 4 locations in Marion, Franklin, and Highland counties. This is the next chapter of its 2022 Site Readiness Program to evaluate and prepare potential industrial sites for economic development investments. Duke Energy will work with county leaders and local economic development professionals to create a strategy for marketing the sites to companies that want to expand their operations. Since 2013, the program has resulted in 680 new jobs and $183 million in capital investment.
The economy has been slowing down, especially in the technology industry.
As a result, another tech company joins this trend of a mass layoff.
And coming up on WFT News' First at 5, you'll hear what top executives have to say as they fire thousands of their workers. That's next after the break.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
New allegations are surfacing for a defendant in the Young Slime Life trial in Atlanta. Authorities allege rapper Young Thug and co-defendant distributed drugs in a hand-to-hand trade during a court session. The security footage from inside the Fulton County courtroom showed Caliph Adams walking towards Young Thug and his lawyer during the jury selection. Deputies say he handed him Percocet. The rapper has been accused of being the ringleader of the YSL gang, which has a heavy presence in Georgia.
A tech company announces today it's laying off 6% of its workforce. Alphabet Incorporated, the parent company of Google, is cutting 12,000 jobs globally. The technology industry has been suffering, resulting in a string of large layoffs. 2 days ago, Microsoft announced they would lay off 10,000 workers. Amazon is planning on cutting 18,000 jobs as well. Alphabet's CEO Sundar Pichai emailed employees saying, quote, "We hired for a different economic reality than the one we face today." The Biden administration announced another military aid package for Ukraine. The $2.5 billion package includes millions of rounds of ammunition, tens of thousands of artillery rounds, night vision gear, and other equipment. The package is one of the largest the United States has committed for Ukraine. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has continuously called on ally nations that have been arming in his fight against Russia for more advanced and modern weapons.
This $2.5 billion package is one of our largest yet. It helps Ukraine meet its air defense needs with additional NASAMS munitions and 8 Avenger air defense systems.
Representatives for the Joint Chiefs of Staff say this deal will also help with Ukraine's urgent need for armor and combat vehicles.
Well, I started the week with my teeth chattering, and I've needed a jacket all week. But today has been just mild, and I'm glad I won't be freezing Fareeha again.
It's definitely been cooling down as the day has drawn on. Shawn, what can we expect tonight?
Not too much to worry about overnight, but temperatures will drop to the upper 40s. You won't have to deal with frosty windshields, but there is a chance of rain tomorrow afternoon. More after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Well, thanks for joining me. First, we're going to take a look at the temperatures around the area here in north central Florida. High 60s, low to mid 70s, up to 77 in the Villages. As you get down the bend, down I-75, temperatures start to increase a little bit. It's nothing too crazy around the area. Actually quite comfortable if I do say so myself, but that's a matter of opinion, and I'm not willing to get in an argument from here because I can't see you. But check it out. Low temperatures for tonight in the 40s and 50s across much of north central Florida. 57 degrees in Daytona, 53 in the Villages. So as we push out towards the East Coast, temperatures start to increase just a little bit. And as we go down south, down I-75, once again, temperatures increasing. 54 in Cedar Key, but tomorrow's high temperatures, guess what? It's going to rain tomorrow. We do expect it to rain tomorrow, so pack that umbrella, get ready. By the mid-morning to the early afternoon, we should be expecting scattered showers and storms. 64 degrees in Gainesville, though, tomorrow, 67 in Daytona. So the temperature itself might feel comfortable, but it won't feel too comfortable when those drops of rain start hitting your face. But check it out tomorrow. We've got, this is a 3-part forecast, 49 degrees in the morning. The overnight low is 48. So down, 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 up to 63 degrees. That chance of rain keeps increasing. But the real threat for severe weather is Sunday. Going into Sunday, there's a marginal risk in the northern part of north central Florida. And as we get down south, the risk is a little bit lower, but you should be prepared to feel some types of thunderstorms, some type of rain affecting you. And that risk for pollen is also out there. We see if you do sneeze, you're right there with me. I've had to deal with allergies myself. High chances of pollen over the next week or so. Hey, we will achoo. That's all good. Here's the 6-day forecast. Saturday and Sunday, it's expected to rain. And Wednesday, those storms roll back around. Temperatures fluctuating a little bit, but nothing too crazy. The lows for the week, the valleys for the week, if you will, around 44 degrees. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Shawn. And Sarah, I'm wondering, do you have any plans for this weekend?
Nothing big, but I wish I was in the O-Dome cheering on our Gators gymnastics team, but they'll be on the road tonight. Coming up after the break, you'll hear all about Florida's gymnastics big matchup tonight.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Hello everyone, welcome to sports. I'm Jenn Clerveaux. There's been an update on Gator football recruit Jaden Rashada and his status in Florida's 2023 recruiting cycle. Rashada signed with the Gators in December with the intention of being an early enrollee after decommitting from Miami and flipping to the Gators in November. On Wednesday, Rashada requested to be released from his national letter of intent from Florida after failing to enroll in courses at the university after the spring semester had already begun. Then, this morning, it was reported by On3 Sports that Florida has granted Rashada's request to be removed from his letter of intent. The Gators currently have a national football recruiting ranking of 13 according to 247 Sports. Meanwhile, Gators gymnastics is on the road tonight and will face Alabama in Tuscaloosa for their second SEC matchup this season. Second-ranked Florida is coming into the contest red hot after topping fifth-ranked Auburn last Friday in front of a sellout crowd in the O-Dome. Their 197.825 score came courtesy of a trio of perfect tens from Trinity Thomas and Leon Wong during the meet. Meanwhile, 11th-ranked Alabama is also entering the matchup fresh off of an SEC win. Last week, the Tide traveled to Fayetteville and left with a win over the then 16th-ranked Arkansas. Tonight's top 15 duel will begin at 7:30 with live coverage available on ESPNU. Florida men's basketball will be looking to redeem themselves after their loss to Texas A&M on Wednesday when they travel to Mississippi State tomorrow night. Florida's narrow 2-point loss doesn't come close to telling the story of the game, as 2 is the exact number of shots the Gator made in the first half of the contest. Nonetheless, the Gators fought back in the second half and upped their field goal percentage from a measly 7.7% to 40%, going 14 for 35 in the second half. Head coach Todd Golden discussed some of the positives he saw in Wednesday night's 54-52 loss.
In a lot of ways, we played well. Starting with positives defensively, holding them to 54 points, really hard to do. I thought we did a great job defending without fouling, making them make skilled shots over us. I don't think they shot a free throw till like the last 10 minutes of the game, and they lead the nation in getting to and making free throws. So that was huge for us.
Tomorrow night's tip-off is set for 8:30 with live coverage on the SEC Network. And in Florida women's basketball, the Gators will host Vanderbilt on Sunday afternoon in the O-Dome. The 12-7 Gators will enter the matchup with hopes to snap their ongoing 4-game losing streak after falling to Tennessee 74-56 Thursday night. Tip-off on Sunday is slated for 2 p.m. in the Aztec Arena. And in high school hoops, last night there was a slate of hometown rival games. Up first, there was a doubleheader at St. Francis Catholic between the Wolves and the Oak Hall Eagles. The St. Francis girls took to the court first and struggled immensely, only managing to score 5 points before halftime. Oak Hall dominated the entire matchup, leaving with the 53-19 win. Meanwhile, the St. Francis boys team managed to keep things a little closer in their matchup with Oak Hall, but ultimately ended up falling to the Eagles 48-44. Then across town, the Buchholz boys team hosted Eastside and topped the Rams 55-43. Buchholz is now 11-11 on the season. Meanwhile, the NBA returned to play a game in Paris for the first time since the COVID epidemic. One of the teams there was former Florida Gators head coach Billy Donovan's Chicago Bulls. With more on the game, reporting from Paris is WFT's Cristina Santiago.
Reporting from Paris, France, the Chicago Bulls defeated the Detroit Pistons 126-108. Zach LaVine was the leading scorer as he scored 30 points, and DeMar DeRozan, who just came back from an injury, was the second leading scorer as he scored 26 points. The Pistons really struggled offensively as Killian Hayes, who is their star player and France native, only managed to score 4 points. Cristina Santiago, WUFT News.
Thank you, Jenica and Cristina. And for our final story tonight, a life-saving mission in Southwest Florida. 4 Tampa police officers are being honored after saving a kidnapped baby from overheating. The 11-month-old girl was sitting in an abandoned stolen car. Officers got the call and rushed into action, hopping a fence to get to the car. And when they got to her, they put water on her lips and a cool compress on her forehead to bring her temperature down. The baby girl made a full recovery at the hospital and was later reunited with her mother.
Before we go, one last check on the weather.
Overnight lows in Alachua County in the mid to high 40s. Not quite frosty on the windshield, but hey, that's okay. It's going to be a little bit chilly, so if you feel like walking outside by the time it gets dark, you might need a jacket. And down in Marion County, those temperatures increasing ever so slightly, but not a huge difference, about a temperature difference of 5 degrees at the most. And as we look ahead to the 6-day forecast, whoops, went the wrong way. That's okay. Saturday and Sunday is what we need to look out for. Heavy rain expected on Sunday, chance for severe weather, and then we'll get another chance for rain on Wednesday. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Shawn. BBC World News is up next, and the PBS NewsHour is coming up at 7.
Your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a good night.